Alright guys, in the last video we created our listing model inside models.py in the listings app. Now we need to create our realtor model, okay, because these are going to go hand in hand. We have a foreign key of realtor that's going to be linked to that realtor model. So let's go into the folder of realtors and then open that models.py, and we're going to, same thing, create a class, and we're going to call it realtor. And we also want to extend models, our models.model, and then we want to create our properties. Okay, remember ID we don't have to do, that's going to be automatic. Let's do a name. We're going to set that to models dot, it's going to be a character field. We'll give it a max length of, let's say, 200. Okay, let's do a photo. Okay, so each realtor should have one photo. So models dot image field, and just like we did before in the last video, we're going to do upload underscore to, and let's set this to the same thing. So it's going to go into photos slash, and we want to do %y slash % lowercase m slash % lowercase d slash. Okay, next thing is the description. Description is going to be models dot text field, and I want this to be optional, so we're going to say blank equals true. Next thing is the phone. So phone is going to be a char field. We'll do max length equals, let's say, 20. Okay. Next is going to be the email. I'm going to do 50 for the email. Okay. Next is going to be is MVP. So this will be checked off if they're going to be the seller of the month. This is going to be a Boolean field. Okay, so we want Boolean field, and we also want to set a default. Okay, default is going to be false. All right, let's see. Let's do hire date. So hire date will be models dot date time field, and just like we did in the other model, I want the current date and time. So we need to actually bring in, we'll say from date time, import date time, and then we can simply say default equals date time dot now, and I'm also going to do a blank equals true here. All right, and then just like we did with the listings, we want to have like a main field for the realtor, and I'm going to use their name. So let's say define double underscore str double underscore pass in self, and we're going to say return self dot, and then whatever field we want, which is going to be name. All right, so let's save that. So we now created our realtor model. Now this error we have here, if I just resave this, that error now goes away because realtor now exists in the realtor's models. Okay, it's what we just created. So now that we have the realtors and the listings models done, now we want to get this stuff into the database. Right now it's not in the database. If we look, even though we've saved the model, let's go ahead and reload. And it's kind of a pain because you got to navigate back down. But I just want to prove to you that just because we created the models, it doesn't mean that those tables are created. You'll see there's no new tables for listings or realtors. So we need to create a migration or make a migration and then run it. Okay, so let's head over to VS Code, and I'm just going to make this a little bigger here. And let's see, we want to run Python manage.py, and there's a command called make migrations. All right, now this make migrations is going to actually create a file. It's this itself is not going to do anything in the database. It's simply going to create the file that we can run to then update the database. And notice that in the listings folder, there's a migrations folder, which is empty aside from cache, PyCache. Same thing with realtors, has the migrations. So what this will do is create a file that will get put in there based on the model. So if I run this, okay. So the reason that we're getting this error is because in order to use image field, which we've used plenty of times here, we need to have a dependency called pillow, okay, that we need to install with pip. So to fix this, we simply run, make sure you're in your virtual environment and run pip install pillow. All right, so now that we've done that, let's do the make migrations again. And notice that it's not only did it do listings. Now we could have done, and I actually meant to do make migrations listings, but it doesn't matter. Since realtors is a foreign key on listings, they both would have ran. Okay, but if we do make migrations, it'll just run all of them, okay, both of them. And it's created a file called 001 underscore initial.py inside both migrations folders. Okay, now if we take a look at these files, this is what migrations look like. Okay, and they include this this operations list with migrations.create model, has a name, and then it has all the fields. Okay, so this is basically what's going to be read into the database. Now there's actually a command that we can run to check out what the query would look like. So if we do, or what it will look like, we'll say Python manage.py, and we can actually do, this isn't something you have to do, I'm just showing you it's an option. We can say SQL migrate listings. So we'll say listings and then the number of the file, which is 0001, and it will actually show us the SQL. So create table, and it's going to be called listings underscore listing because it's the name of the app underscore the name of the model, and then you can see it gives it an ID, serial, which means it's going to be auto increment. In Postgres we have something called serial. Title is going to be varchar. Okay, varchar is the actual Postgres type. Okay, we have char field, which is the model type, the Django model type of the field, but this is the actual database field. Okay, so you can see the actual SQL. It didn't run this. It didn't do anything. It's just simply showing us what it will do. Okay, so don't think that you have to run that command. So let's clear this up, and now let's actually do the migrate. So whenever we have migrations up and ready, we can simply do Python manage.py and then migrate. And we get 2 OKs from realtors and listings. So now that specific command actually changed the database, added the table. So let's take a look. Let's go to PG admin, or you can open your terminal if you want. You'll have to reload this and then just navigate back down to it. So btredb, schemas, public, tables, and there they are, listings underscore listing and realtors underscore realtor. Okay, so our tables are now there, and if we look at it, I mean, we can look at the we could look at the data. There is no data, but we could say like all rows, and it would show us all the data that's in there. Okay, but you can see we have the ID, which is the primary key, title, address, city, all the different fields. So pretty cool. All right, so our database is all set. The next thing we're going to do is work on our admin area. Okay, now that we have the database tables in place, we want to make it so that we can actually add data, you know, update, delete, whatever. So that's what we're going to get into in the next section.